Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Hope everybody's having a great day today, Nick.
No. Do it again.
Okay. Good morning.
Do it in chronological or even reverse chronological order. But in some, you can't be multiverse. This isn't multiverse where you just get to make up the rules.
Yeah.
Try it again. Try it again.
It sounds cool.
Try it again.
Good night. Good afternoon. Good midday.
No.
Good mid-morning. And good morning. You said go reverse.
When is midday?
Midday is like 12 o'clock.
Well, then you said afternoon. Wouldn't that be after midday?
Did I? I don't know. Hey, let's get it started with Nick Black in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Pew. That's all you get, Ryan. You get a pew. He gets one pew. Don't pew him. He gets one pew.
We're just.
I deduct one pew from you. You're negative one pew.
Negative one pew? Come on now.
Ryan, do you own any crypto today?
No.
That's infinity. We're still at infinity.
Though.
You actually do own an NFT.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
you own some crypto. Yeah.
That's like, yeah. There you go.
Fair play. Oh, wait. My head's too high. Hold on.
Oh.
That was awesome. That was special effects. You guys see those special effects? Okay. Today on the American Institute for Crypto Investors, live, not a dead show, mind you. This is a live show. We're going to talk about mining Ethereum. We're going to talk about Coinbase partnering with BlackRock. We're going to talk about my pick, which I've already released in the digital heavyweight room. You already know what it is. And it's already kind of up today, like 30%, but I think it's going to go more up. What we were going to talk about is MicroStrategy's getting rid of, Saylor stepping down to focus on his Bitcoin strategy. And funny enough, he steps down, the stock goes up. Why? Because people apparently agree with us that he's terrible sauce. We were going to talk about Solana wallet hack, the researchers at Solana. You'd love to see what those rubes look like. They've determined that in fact, it wasn't Solana. It was the wallet that was attached to the Solana project. That's what failed, because the people that made the wallet, they were keeping a little text file of users' private keys. And you'd say, well, okay, Solana researchers, that's cool, bro. How come you didn't do any of this research before you partnered up with them and put $200 million on that platform, you dumb bunnies? Come on, man. Like all this after the bomb's gone off. Thanks. The money's gone, Solana researchers. It's just Solana trying to tell one, it's not us. It's not us this time. It's not us. It is you, stupid. If you partner with someone and you don't check them and you don't do any research and you don't audit their code, you're just as stupid. Stupid code, stupid researcher, stupid team, stupid equals Solana. And they'll be like, well, this, whatever. So we're not even going to talk. That's it. We talked about them. I'm not going to go through a whole article where their researchers try to tell you that this one's not our fault. All the network outages, yes, that's our fault. The stolen 9 million tokens, yes, that's our fault. The fact that we lied about the market cap and the actual token distribution, yep, that's our fault. The fact that we have poor consensus mechanism that doesn't really work and it can't really scale because there's no security to it. Oh yeah, that's our fault. But this one thing, even though we did get in bed with this company and we told people to use them and we promoted them. Oh, wait. Weird. Anyway, thanks, Solana Research. Thanks. But we will be talking about Coinbase partnering with BlackRock. And at first, they're going to offer some Bitcoins to people through their institutional service, which is, I think, called Coinbase Prime. We'll get into that. And I have a pick for you. But again, if you're a heavyweight, you already have the pick. You already have it. You know what I'm talking about. Go in the heavyweight chat. Look now. I will save that for the last of the articles so you can front run the public by like 30 minutes. Although you're not front running anyone because this is news. It just might not be news that you click to. Anyway, Ryan, is there anything exciting going on in your life since yesterday?
Both of my kids woke up simultaneously last night. So that was fun. I'm exhausted, but
you have little ones?
Celsius. Yeah, 2. I have like a 3-month-old and a 3-nager. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Get what you get. That's a nice Nike ad. Are you sponsored by Nike?
Thanks, man. No, I'm not.
That's weird. Just giving them a free ad. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for Nike, really.
Yeah, really good for Nike. Yeah.
They should be giving you those shirts.
That'd be nice.
Okay, let's take a look at the markets. Let's do a quick, like a 5-minute run through the markets, and then let's get into the news. Or do you want to go news first? What would you like to do, Ryan? I'm going to leave it to your choice.
Let's go markets first.
Markets first. Woo-woo. Okay, what's going on? The Bitcoin. We were right in that we thought the Bitcoin would be floating around sideways this week. It had gone way up, and it has. It just hasn't been doing much of anything. Not much up and not much down. It got as high as 24. It's gotten as low as 22.5 last night, but it won't get any lower. And for many of us, I didn't want to sell a put. For those of us that were looking at the put selling in cash, I didn't want to sell. We were right around 23. I didn't want to sell for like a couple $100. I wanted to make a big hit. So I put my order in at like 450 or maybe 475. It did not, last I checked, it didn't get filled. Now, had this same price action that happened last night, because we were down to 22.5, had that happened earlier in the week, we would have been filled. But remember, there's less and less time. Tomorrow, these things expire. And as you're paper trading, underneath each trade, you're going to have trades. Well, there's no losing trades when you're selling, but there are winning trades and neutral trade. Neutral trade, it just doesn't go. The options contract expired worthless, or you didn't get put into it. Either way, well, if it expired worthless, that's a winning trade. But if you didn't get put in because the price, that price didn't get down low enough in the underlying asset to make the put premium get high enough to fill your order, you should write that too. Tolerances this week were too tight. Trading range was, 22,500 to 23,600, which is a very tight range for Bitcoin. For any other asset, that'd be like, but for Bitcoin, that's tight. So keep that in mind. And what you want to do is, you can even write some what ifs. What if I had sold that contract for 250? Right now, it looks like that'd be a winning trade. If we open up the day tomorrow and Bitcoin's at 21.7, then that would have been a break-even trade, or like you'd lose like $50, right? And you get put into Bitcoin. So you want to, as you're paper trading, which you should all be doing, you want to go with each trade, whether it worked or didn't. And you'd say, okay, this is why this thing didn't get filled, or this is why it did, where the week ended. You want to write those things out because you're trying to fill your brain with not just the price action, but kind of some reasoning or logic behind why a trade did or didn't work, or why you did or didn't get filled. Again, the beauty of being a seller of options, like we talk about in the heavyweights, being a seller of options means you don't have to stress out because you don't really care. You either make money or nothing changes, which is cool. So this week, nothing changed. Oh, nice jump in with the music there, buddy. Ethereum is down. There's some interesting action coming in the Ethereum space. We'll talk about that as we read the article. There's a potential kind of third outcome for the merge, so we'll discuss that. The Cardano, 50 cents. We don't know, I think 2 weeks or a week and a half until the hard fork, the Vassal hard fork that's already happened on the test net gets rolled out to the main net. Again, they're working through bugs and stuff like that. I hope they take it slow and steady. No, we don't want any team to go, let's move fast and break stuff. That's not usually been a good strategy. Polkadot, still having a good month, up 20%, almost 21%. It's flat. You'll notice everything's flat today, except there are a couple of assets that are not flat. Flow is an interesting one, which we will talk about. Near was up yesterday pretty good. It's up on the month pretty good. It's up on the year, but it was around $20. And I expect Near to do well, but it has been quiet. They are getting into lending. They are getting into DeFi, which, we'll see. But I am still excited about that project. Algorand, Cosmos, quiet. Everything, all quiet on the Western front. Phantom, a little bit excitement. It's a sub-billion-dollar asset. A lot of these sub-billion-dollar market cap assets, they can be quite dramatic in their moves. So don't hang on the daily vacillations too much. And then you have Flux, Ergo, ERG. These are two tokens that we would be playing under the auspices that when Ethereum leaves proof of work for proof of stake, not considering any contentious or kind of conflict hard forks that may occur, which I think they probably will occur. These are the coins also with Ravencoin. These are the three most likely, other than Ethereum Classic, these are the three most likely to get mined by Ethereum miners with their rigs that would pay the highest rewards. So we're looking at those as potential. I'm not super excited about Flux, to be honest with you. It's not all that interesting. Ergo is a really good team. And so if I had to guess, I would say the order for me would be Ergo, Ravencoin, and then Flux. So that's kind of like where I'm kind of keeping my mind. Fetch has been melting up. And our favorite spammy dumpster fire garbage coin with a market cap of dust has been melting up. Why? Because there's like 6 people that own it, and the thing keeps floating upwards. And Fetch is interesting. Remember, this is a token that was over $1. I want to say it was $1.20, $1.18, but definitely well over $1.10. So is there an 1100x left in that? I think so. I think to imagine them getting back to their all-time high is not that difficult to conceive. They are working with Fireblocks. Fireblocks working with BNY Mellon, and BNY Mellon is as big as it gets. AGIX, Singularity Net. You want to own it because you get a percentage of all of the new projects they drop. I like it. I like it a lot. I would like to see how you trade cryptos. Member 724061, join the heavyweights. You'll see everything I do before I do it. NewNet. NewNet is one of the verticals launched. They are basically trying to take all of these dormant compute resources like old phones that you use and computers and stuff like that. You'll be able to dedicate them that hashing power, that compute power, to this big network that will then distribute that compute power where it has the most utility, and you will get paid for it. And that is super badass. For those of you that have member and you have a number, go into your settings and put a little picture or like an avatar and put your name. Because just referring to someone as member number, that's not super exciting. We want names, man. And looks token, well, it's not cheap enough to buy it for a flip. If it gets around or below 30 cents, I think you buy it for the flip a little bit. This is a lottery ticket because looks rare, cool platform, man, but no one's using it. It is what it is. Everyone's using OpenSea, and until something changes dramatically, like Facebook comes out with their own NFT platform or marketplace, which they probably will, and it will probably be bigger than everybody else. Fonda. So you want to trade looks, you trade it, you understand that it's a trade and trade only, and you do it under 30 cents. But I'm not doing it because I don't believe in it. I was one of the early looks rare holders. I had this, well, you guys know, I had this token when it went up to $8. It came down. And it's funny because everybody seems to misremember. I talk to people and they're like, man, I got crushed on looks. And then you talk to them like a month later, they're like, oh, I did good, man. I sold at $6. I thought, no, you didn't. Damn liar. I sold at $9. It didn't go to $9. Well, that's how I remember it. Yeah, I know how you remember it. That's just not how it was. So let us not misremember our trades. Let's be honest about what we did and what we didn't do. I actually did good on looks because I was early and I was staking. I sold half and half. So I sold half of my looks at like 293 and the other half at like $1.79. You say, well, that's not great. This is true. That's not great. However, I had mined like 23 or 24 ETH. And at that time, that was when Ethereum was $4,000. That was almost 100K that I just swiped off the side. And so basically I had taken some Ethereum, bought some Looks Rare tokens. When I mined the full 20 that I sold, the full 20 ETH that I sold, I pushed it back to Nexo to gain interest, my original 20. And I then slowly sold the tokens, and all that was profit because it was kind of free tokens. So I had at one point 60 something thousand of those. Anyway, you know what? It wasn't terrible. You know, I probably cashed, I don't know, it was over 100K for 3.5 months worth of work. It's better than a stick in the eye. It depends, I guess. I don't know. That's a weird statement. I think everything's better than a stick in the eye. Ryan, what's better than a stick in the eye?
What's better than a stick in the eye? I can think of a lot.
The whole list. Give me the whole list. All of it.
The whole list? The movie Mean Girls definitely is better than a stick in the eye.
That was not better. No. Mean Girls is not better. You pick the one thing that is not better than a stick in the eye. God, you're so not good at this. Okay. It's like, just pick the one. The list is everything, and then he picks the one thing that's not on the list. Okay, let's do some news headlines. Let's get into the news, because the news is actually going to lead us to one of our picks for the day. Yeah. Which, if you're a heavyweight, go check the heavyweight chat, because in about 15 minutes, we will be talking about the thing, and you'll be like, man, why didn't you tell us first? And I'll be like, bro, I did tell you first. Know what I'm saying? Nah, mean? Bam. My buddy said that. He goes, nah, mean? I go, what? Nah, mean.
How do you spell that?
What does that mean? N-A apostrophe M-E-E-N, nah, mean? Know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, nah, I'm saying, but nah, mean. Nah,
yeah,
mean?
that makes sense.
Yeah. Know what I mean? And my buddy says it, and it's cool. And if I say it, it seems like I'm committing some kind of crime. Anyway, Rachel McAdams. Okay, let's go to our headlines. Let's start queuing these bad boys up, because we have some fun stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, first one, opinion. Who will mine Ethereum after it's gone?
Who will mine Ethereum? Interesting. Okay, so here's what's going on. As you guys know, proof of stake is coming. The merge, it goes merge, surge, verge, purge, splurge. You're like, shut up with your words. Those are their words. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, Ethereum's long-awaited transition from proof of work to proof of stake based consensus. So this is basically how they determine. All of crypto is three steps, really. It's decide on a chunk of data, send that chunk of data, right? What some people call propagating to the network. Send it. So decide on it, choose it, send it, and then validate it. Okay? Choose, send, validate. You could also say make. Make a block, send a block, validate a block. Okay? Well, the making of the block, the choosing, that's what we're talking about here. Consensus. We have to determine through consensus what is the chunk of data that is to be sent out and that is then to be validated by the other nodes. Well, this is the transition from proof of work, all those shoebox computer setup rigs, mining rigs all over the world, millions and millions, going creating heat and destroying the whole universe, as Elizabeth Warren would have you think, which is actually not so accurate. That's a whole other thing. It's mostly BS, but fine. It's something that your grandmother can say, but what about the unit? We're destroying the universe. Okay, grandma, right? Whale oil. Anyway, but Ethereum is pivoting to proof of stake, not because of energy consumption, but because it's much more efficient and faster and more elegant and leaner. And so that's why they're doing it. Anyway, Ethereum's long-awaited transition from proof of work to proof of stake-based consensus mechanism is just over the horizon, and the anticipation has created a bullish narrative for the smart contract platform. That's bittersweet for one very significant group. After the merge, the current Ethereum miners will be left with immense amounts of computer hardware that is pretty much useless. Except, we've talked about it, they can mine some other tokens. We talked about those other tokens. You know what they are. Now, there is another potential pivot to this story. The plot thickens. Some miners are not going gently into that long good night. On July 27th, a longtime Ethereum investor and miner named Chandler Gao. How would you pronounce that, Ryan? G-U-O. Go. Wow.
G-U-O?
Go.
Guo? I don't know. Guo?
I don't want to say goo. I want to say goo, but it sounds like I'm being mean.
Guo, maybe?
Goo. Chandler Guru. Anyway, he's a longtime Ethereum investor and miner, so he owns a lot of these machines that are basically going to be rendered useless. And maybe he doesn't want to go mine Ravencoin and Ergo and Flux. Maybe he's all fluxed up. He's like, Flux you. What? So he's saying, I don't think, and he made a declaration. He tweeted, ETH, proof of work, coming soon. You say, wait, what? It's already proof of work. No, they're talking about doing something crazy. Goa. Okay, Goa. It's, even though it's a U and an O, I like that. In their declaration, in brief, that Goa would lead his fellow miners. He's going to lead them. Come with me, miners. Join me. To continue supporting the current proof of work based Ethereum chain after the system change known as the merge. You say, wait a minute, I don't understand. I thought yeah. He's saying, I don't care what you do, Vitalik. Screw you, bro. So essentially there are some rational arguments for continued Ethereum proof of work chain. And this would certainly be a fascinating experiment if it goes forward, but there are a lot more reasons to think that the chain won't be viable in the long term. And a lot of ways that an Ethereum proof of work continuation could be leveraged by disingenuous bad actors. Fork. Contentious hard fork. And if we have a contentious hard fork, it enters in a new way to trade this. Does anybody here remember? Hey, Ryan, do you remember the Bitcoin Cash fork? Bcash, which we call Btrash. Do you remember the Btrash fork? Mm-mm. So it was in August 2017. You had Roger Ver, at that time Bitcoin Jesus, and he said, we believe that this is what Satoshi meant. Right, but what he meant, but what he didn't write. So what Adam Back meant, right? Adam Back and Hal Finney, what they meant. No one likes to say that. They like to believe that it's some kind of conspiracy thing, Elon Musk, all this kind of stuff. Look, Elon Musk can't code his way out of a paper bag. That's why Elon is staying with electric cars where he can get government subsidies and still doesn't have to perform and can still turn out a garbage product. Right? That's why he's there and not here. Because if he thought he could be here, he'd be here. Anyway, long story short, there was this contentious hard fork. There was Bitcoin and then Bitcoin Cash. And some people were like Roger Ver, I'm putting my money in Bitcoin Cash. I'm selling my Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin Cash. And at one point, Bitcoin Cash was like $3,500. And people were like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, if you owned Bitcoin before the fork, you ended up with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And those of you that were smart, you sold your Bitcoin Cash, your Btrash. And it is in the gutter. It's a couple $100. So you got free money just for showing up. And those of you that sold your Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash, there was another hard fork, not even, I think, 4 months later. And it was the BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. So they weren't happy enough. The Btrash community wasn't happy enough. They needed another fork. You see how this started to get weird. And of course, you would have done well to sell all of the Bitcoin forks. You're good. You were doing well to sell them the second they occurred. They made it, you sold it. They made it, you sold it. Well, could be a situation here similar to that. It's interesting to see what going into this merge. Now, of course, they could kick the merge down the road. They could the week of September 19th, they could say, we're not ready. I think they probably will. We're not ready. Ethereum price will come down. But going into that week, the Ethereum price is likely to go up. Excitement. And then hopefully the merge goes well. If the merge goes badly, right? But then what if there's a fork and there's like another option? There's like a third token. You wouldn't want to have sold your tokens. So there's a whole way to play this. We're going to go into the game theory behind it. Not here. That'll be a heavyweights thing where we can really dig in and people can ask questions and all that, because that goes through a whole process of exactly how you want to position yourself for that. But it's interesting to start entertaining these ideas in your brain goo. To understand the potential fork and the risk of a post-merge Ethereum proof-of-work chain, consider how the upcoming merge is going to work and what will be left behind. Very broadly, the historic state of the Ethereum chain at the time of the merge, the most kind of crucial address balances will be transferred to the new proof-of-stake consensus environment. So you won't have to do anything. Your Ethereum will just go and it'll be part of the new chain. But the same state history, right, of history of all the transactions will also exist on the proof of work miners that are chugging away right up until the millisecond before the merge. Those miners could very easily continue accepting transactions and adding blocks to their copy. They don't have to just turn their rigs off, right? So they could continue adding blocks to their copy of the Ethereum chain using proof of work. It means that they will still be rewarded by pre-merge proof of work algorithm with tokens that look a lot like Ethereum, but exist only on the degraded proof of work chain. This would be a new token in a sense. It goes from the old chain, but it's like every Marvel movie now where there's no stakes involved and they just go, boop, we'll just create a new history where Tony Stark didn't die and all this kind of stuff. You say, well, that seems like cheating. Hey, man, the people will respond by the way they trade, by the way they own, by what they hold and what they sell. So you let the market determine this. So similarly, all Ethereum holders just before the merge will have the keys for tokens on both chains. Using them will likely involve some complexity, technical work, and special tools, but many default applications like MetaMask will presumably remove integrations with the old chain to prevent user confusion. Also important, only holders who self-custody are likely to retain control of their Ethereum proof-of-work tokens. It's likely that many custodial exchanges will not give users access to their tokens on the continued proof-of-work chain. So the tokens will be somewhere, but you won't just get gifted them. Like in the proof, like when Bitcoin Cash happened, B-Trash, at first, Coinbase was not even giving people the tokens. They were like, nope, no. And then they had to. They got sued. And then they were like, we're going to give you them. You're not giving us nothing. It's ours. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this works. A major, if often unspoken goal of Chandler and his group, the Ethereum Proof of Work Initiative, would be to generate enough interest in Ethereum Proof of Work that exchanges do list it and make it tradable as a token separate from the proper ETH. So I think they're going to call it ETHW or ETH POW, which sounds kind of creepy, right? POW. Anyway, the initiative would be able to generate this interest, make it a tradable token that is clearly separate from Ethereum. Ethereum is going to proof of stake. So ETHW, which I think is what they're going to call it, would likely be tradable via decentralized exchanges sooner. Mainstream centralized exchange listings would be key to maintaining a kind of broader market interest. They need real exchanges to list the ETHW token so that anybody trades it or continues with it. Yeah. Okay. So if they get enough exchange listings, it will effectively guarantee that there is at least some market value for both the new proof of stake token, which would just be ETH, ETH, and ETHW. I don't think they'll call it ETH POW, but it is ETH proof of work. I think they're going to call it ETHW. It's like ETH work. Anyway, ETHW. Anyway, just in case something goes wrong or very, very wrong. Well, they're kind of like saying, what if What if proof of stake doesn't work? What if it blows up? What if it sucks? What if the merge is a big meltdown? I don't think it will be. I think it's more likely that if Vitalik and his team saw something like that, they would just kick the can down the road. But you don't know. This is the thing. We don't know. This is why you look at Cardano and you go, what a great process where they're forks to their new versions of their software. You don't do nothing. You just sit back and you just wait. And the transition happens underneath the surface. And they've already worked out all the kinks. With Ethereum, it's not so sure. It's not quite so easy. They liken the Ethereum transition to taking a Cessna and changing out the engine, the propeller for a jet engine, putting new wings on it and repainting it while it's flying. That's what they're doing. Well, all of this while it's flying. It doesn't get to land. Because once these things are moving, they're moving. It's not Solana. You can't just turn it off for 3 days a week. All right. Of course, that's got nothing to do with the actual usefulness of this new token that might be created. Is there any reason for a proof of work version of Ethereum to continue to exist other than to find a price for something that has lost most of its value overnight? What are the chances there will be actual user demand for ETHW that would lead to longer term stable value or appreciation? Well, it didn't work out for Ethereum Classic. Now, Ethereum Classic wasn't a contentious hard fork. Ethereum had a hack. It's called the DAO hack. About $60 million was gone. This was early in the Ethereum days. And Vitalik and enough people thought, listen, we got to fork this and make all the investors good. If we don't, it's the end. Maybe they were right. However, that showed the world that there was some centralization, right? Like Mark said, centralized crypto is worse than a bank. Well, that's what Ethereum did. Ethereum said no, and they forked Ethereum, and that's why you then had Ethereum, ETH, the new fork, and ETC, Ethereum Classic. And Ethereum Classic, S the bed because no one cares. All right. So there are some non-financial arguments for continuing the proof of work chain, what we'll call ETHW, or whatever they ultimately decide to call it. Because ETHPOW sucks, right? So above all, rational or not, there will be some uncertainty about the stability of the new Ethereum chain after the merge. If something goes truly catastrophically bad with the merge and things blow up and everyone, right? There is some chance that users and apps and even assets will migrate back to the proof of work chain in this scenario, which I don't see that. I guess it's a non-zero probability, but very small. But there's a chance that some people would migrate back to the old chain. The thing is, though, like as an insurance policy, if you've built on Ethereum and you have all of these other layer ones, right, like Cardano and Polkadot and basically Matic, right, and Near and Cosmos and that, where you can transition through Ethereum virtual machines, you can take your code and transition onto other better, leaner, cleaner blockchains. Why would you not? Like if you're a company and you're leveraging Ethereum right now, and you know that with the click of a couple buttons, you can just be running on top of Cardano or running on top of Polkadot or running on top of Near or Cosmos or Algorand, why the truck would you stay in your position right now and just hope everything goes well from the team that has continued to fail to deliver for 6 years straight? Like, what would you do, Ryan? Just from an outside perspective, you built something on Ethereum, you like it, but maybe you're a little bit worried that this merge, this transition, this craziness might not go down well. Would you look at maybe porting over to another platform?
I don't know, honestly. That's a tough one. What would you do?
It's like, if you have all your money in one bank.
Yeah.
And you hear that the bank is going through a process which involves potentially bank robbers entering the bank. And they're going to flip all the switches off. They're going to turn them back on. And they have a good, solid, they feel like it's going to work. And all you have to do is click one button and your account will just be transferred to another bank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably would, yeah. No hesitation, yeah.
And,
for sure.
And I don't think we're alone in this thinking. Other companies, they're not just going to go, well, Vitalik, I hope you guys nail it. Fingers crossed, because if you don't, we all die. So I don't know, man. There's just a lot to think about. So to be clear, the chances that people start migrating to the old Ethereum, the Ethereum ETHW chain it's very, very small. But there have been they've been doing these test merges, and they've gone well. So it's a very low probability that the merge is going to create some kind of problem, but it's not zero. And anytime you have a non-zero probability, you have to, an assumption, it's a weak assumption, but it's non-zero. You have to factor it, right? Like AI coming and looking something like, Skynet. It's a non-zero possibility that they're coming for us. But did you see that picture of the Roomba? What is it? Isn't that the vacuum robot? Have you seen it, Ryan? Where it's like eating this girl's hair, and she had to get like a team of people with screwdrivers to she had fallen asleep on the floor, and this vacuum was like sucking her hair in. It said something like, shots fired. And then the picture down below it was like Terminator, like the metal one. And it said Skynet is here or something like, it was so great. It's like, this is how it starts. That's like shots fired, Skynet. It starts with a Roomba. Like, what happened? Roomba gained awareness in 2022. All right. Longer term, there remain some uncertainties around the whole proof of stake as a sustainable security system for Ethereum. Now, there's a few people that don't like proof of stake, and it's because they just don't understand it. You do have you have a lot of Roombinator. Yeah, I know, Steve. You have a lot of people that don't like proof of stake because they are currently with proof of work. And that's flawed. If you look at the game theory, if you look at the technology, if you look at the tech, if you look at the team, it's flawed, biased, disingenuous spew. It's bad, poor, just weakly intellectually poor arguments. But that's fine. People let dumb be dumb. There's this theory that proof of stake leads to centralization, right? Well, because your stake has to do with how many tokens you have. Yeah, but there's thousands of stake pools that make it where any one person's stake has to be separated into tons of tiny, tiny, tiny little stakes, and no one has any control because no one stake pool has any more control over any other stake pool because they're all equal and they're all distributed and they're all balanced, and that is good governance. And it's people that take one tiny thing. And for instance, you could say the exact same thing about proof of work. Oh, proof of work. Well, there's two companies that sell all the rigs and they mine against you. And when you have a rig, like a mining rig, you're not mining alone. You're not solo. You contribute your mining resources to these pools. There's only like five big mining pools in the world. You say, well, wait a minute, 5? That sounds like centralization. Yeah, bro. It sounds a lot like it. And then you look at who owns most of the Bitcoin. 2% of the population owns 90% of the Bitcoin. Does that seem fair? Does that seem distributed equally? No, it's creeps like the Winklevi. They own like 400,000 Bitcoin. There's only 21 million total that'll ever exist. These dudes own a huge, significant amount of those. Is this like Batman? Are these the heroes we need, but maybe not the heroes we deserve or some crap like that? No, man. So all of these, all assets over time go into the hands of people, and it looks centralized. All of these things, because we're humans and we're greedy. Like, this should be common sense. But anyway, some Bitcoin maxis are like, no, proof of stake is for rich people. Right. But Bitcoin's for everyone. Anyway, governance manipulation is another perceived risk of proof of stake consensus mechanisms. Well, I would look at the team. You could certainly say that the team at Solana might be, there's some governance manipulation at work there. Yeah. Yes, there is. It's ugly because the team matters. The technology matters. You can't just stamp something proof of stake. You have to kind of get under the skirt and look at how these things are set up. And not all proof of stake is the same, right? So, proof of stake is not a stamp that you get and everything's fine. You still got to dig in. You still got to look at the GitHub submits. You got to look at the code. You have to have people tear through and audit. There's just there's a lot. Crypto ain't easy, as it turns out. You can get really, really rich, maybe even wealthy, but it won't be easy, and you will lose some sleep. Ryan, are you willing to lose some sleep to be wealthy?
Dude, I slept about...
You're not even willing to lose some sleep right now just for nothing.
I slept about 4 hours last night, man. Asking me to lose more sleep? Oh, man,
like,
that's painful.
I just want to get on the highway, put my car in cruise control, and just go to sleep.
I need like a self-driving car, you know? You don't have a Tesla I can borrow?
You know that. They're all self-driving. Where are we at on the heavyweights, by the way?
Oh, yeah, that's something I was going to bring up because somebody asked in the digital heavyweights room. We are currently at, wait for it.
I think
there it is.
577
out of 1,000.
You guys know that at 1,000, we are jacking. They don't know. I don't know if anybody knows this. We're jacking the price at 1,000. I can't wait to welcome the 1,001st person, but you're going to pay out the wazoo, bro. Sorry. You want to look, it's still cheaper than look, man, you guys know how much I charge my corporate clients? Holy smoke. It is a lot. It's like 3 hours. You can get a lifetime membership. This isn't even an ad thing. This is a frustration thing. People are like, man, it's expensive. Yeah, you know what? Life is expensive, bro. Go to Harvard and tell me what that costs you. I know someone whose dad cashed in his life insurance so he could go to Harvard Law. His life insurance. Basically, he said, son, if you don't make it, we die. Oh, well, we're going to die anyway, but we die poor, right? Hundreds of thousands. Dude, you get out of college with an advanced degree in economics, you don't know nothing. Not really. You know nothing. You're completely unprepared for the world that we live in. And then what do? You end up here, or you end up at a corporation where you collectively don't know nothing, and you end up paying someone like me $800,000, $900,000 an hour. Yes, an hour, over and over and over for many, many, many hours. And then you go, God, this stuff's confusing. Yeah, no smoke, dummy. Maybe you should go to an Ivy League school where the instructors didn't learn about economics before color television, bro. But no, people don't think about that. They just throw hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in education. So when people are like, oh man, I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, cool. But I don't feel sorry for you. Because I myself still pay out the wazoo when I go and learn stuff. I'm like, I'm going to find the best people. I'm going to pay them money so I don't feel guilty about asking them all sorts of really nebulous questions. I'm going to question them. I'm going to pepper them with questions, and I'm going to pay them, and they're going to tell me stuff. If you're not an expert, rent one. Anyway, that being said, as it gets back to Ethereum, there's a lot going on. The play up until the merge, I'm working through that, like what I think is the best way to do this. There is no right answer for this. The merge could go just fine, and you might have been better off holding Ethereum. But if you're holding Ethereum, you might end up getting a fork token. That's the thing. If you sell going into the merge, hopefully you made some profit. You probably would. You probably made some profit. It may make sense to sell your profit off so that you're back to your original investment. You put some money back in your pocket, and then you can look and say, okay, did they postpone the merge? Did they push? So there's a lot of game theory involved. We'll get into it. We still have 6-7 weeks. We have time to kind of work through this and cathartically dispel it. Anyway, we'll see. That's all we need to talk about as far as proof of work goes. Now, we have a little bit more kind of newsy, kind of fun stories. Do you want to lead us into that, Ryan?
Well, you had the other two stories, right?
Oh, yeah. You want to throw my screen share up? My favorite big-headed friend, Big Head Ted. This is Brian Armstrong, Coinbase. I don't know why he does that with his hair. I'm guessing because he's bald, and he's like 16 years old and already bald. So this guy, man, here's a dude who can build a business, but man, does he need to talk to somebody about his look? Whatever. That's his look. He looks like a Bond villain, I guess. That's the look. Okay. And real quick, the grayscale suit against the against the FTC. Well, the grayscale is actually going after the SEC. So that's, and I think it's I think the SEC is right. I'm not a big fan of a Bitcoin ETF, although it would do wonders for Bitcoin. I'm not a big fan of it. So, yeah. Anyway, Coinbase is partnering with BlackRock. I'm sure you've heard BlackRock. Think trillions of dollars in under management, like I think 9 trillion plus. Anyway, the world's largest asset manager, to offer institutional clients access to crypto trading through its platform. And I think it's Amazon Prime is the platform. And that's a institutional grade product, which is kind of cool. So this is something they announced today. Of course, their stock's going back up. The share price surged more than 18% to $95. Man, God, when this thing was trading a few weeks ago at $57 and everybody's like, Coinbase is going to crash. Coinbase is going to dirt. I'm like, no, man, no. Coinbase is like, if Coinbase doesn't make it, nothing makes it. Right? Coinbase is fine. Now they're back at, you've almost gotten 100% off the lows, 85% off the lows. You know why? You didn't even need me. All you needed was common effing sense. Common sense, bro. And people love to pan these things. Oh, God, Coinbase, I'm going to short it. Good luck with that. How'd that work out for you, those of you who shorted it? You got your clock clean today. You're effing bankrupt. Bye. So, when these things have a melt value, I come from the gold business. I melt something down in my brain. What's the melt value? Coinbase Ventures, their venture side, it's not even factored into their value. I was talking with a really smart guy, Tobias, and he's the CEO, the director of trading.tv, which they're getting ready to launch. Really cool dude. We were eating at Elefante in Santa Monica last week. I think it was last Monday, and Coinbase shares were in the 50s. And he was like, what are people looking at? I said, I don't know, man. I don't know what people are looking at. I just don't think they get it. You melt this thing and these shares it's $150 a share ish. If you melt this company to dust. And I just don't think this thing melts to dust. Yeah, Kathy got out just at the right time. Anyway, the exchange said it will offer customers of BlackRock's investment management platform, Aladdin, and these are rich people. Rich. What's another word for rich people, Ryan? Like when you see someone drive by, you're like, oh, that guy's rich. That girl's rich. That pronoun is rich. What would you say? What's affluent? Your colloquial term? Richie rich.
Affluent.
Aladdin. Aladdin sounds like something that affluent people would participate. I work with Aladdin. What is Aladdin? Is a genie, right?
Aladdin?
Isn't Aladdin a genie or something?
No. Aladdin was the dude from the movie. The genie was just the genie.
Oh, Aladdin was the dude that found the genie?
Yeah.
So what's Aladdin's claim to fame?
I don't know.
He has a name with a Aladdin. He has a silent D in his name. So what? I got a silent C in my name. My name is Nick. Ooh, look at me being cool with the consonant I don't pronounce. Anyway, they have a suite of institutional products that's known as Prime. No, Aladdin's the dude that found the lamp. So did he get to make wishes? Who made wishes? So confusing.
Aladdin made the wishes.
So BlackRock is making the wishes? I guess what? I failed to understand. They called their project Aladdin.
Oh.
Anyway, this is from BlackRock. Our institutional clients, they would have like old school. Our institutional clients are increasingly interested in gaining exposure to digital asset markets and are focused on how to efficiently manage the operational life cycle of these assets. BlackRock's global head of strategic ecosystem partnership. They have so many global heads of so many things in these companies that are all gobbledygook. You imagine him trying to explain to his significant other what he does. They're like, what does your husband do? What does Joseph do? Well, he's the global head of strategic ecosystem partnerships. Like, what? He's the global head of strategic ecosystem partnerships. Ryan, what do you think that guy does?
With that voice?
He's the head of strategic ecosystem partnerships at BlackRock, I say. Please pass me some crumpets. This doesn't make any sense. You said nothing. Jim Cab TV, Scott Amarillo, 330. What? Got it. The move comes as institutional interest in the crypto space remains high despite a recent market downturn. Why? Because other people know, they get it. The whole world is having an economic downturn, not just crypto. It's just that crypto had the most dummies and the most leverage. So they got nuked the hardest. But you know what? All of the failures in crypto and Celsius and Luna and Voyager and all of these huge and Three Arrows, it created zero systemic risk to the outer world. So everything Elizabeth Warren is saying about crypto creating all this systemic risk, it's all been debunked in the last 2 months. Completely laugh in your face. Elizabeth Warren, please stop what you're doing. We get it. Your heart's in the right place, but use a dummy. Debunked. $70 billion was lit on fire in about 18 minutes. And no one in the outer financial sphere even yawned. They do not care. It didn't matter. You know who got beat up? Dummies in the crypto space. Dummies. No one else. And they deserve to go. Go. Bye-bye. Anyway, the price of Bitcoin, the most popular of the cryptocurrencies, is down about 51% year to date at around 23 and change thousand as of Thursday, and is trading 66% lower than its high of nearly 69,000. They've been saying this forever. Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin's always down until it's up. It's always down until it's up. Anyway, the tie-up between BlackRock and Coinbase comes as the crypto exchange is battling regulatory headwinds. My guess is having BlackRock on your side probably does not hurt. Reports last week stated that the SEC was investigating whether Coinbase had improperly allowed its customers to trade digital assets that should have been registered as securities. That is the SEC overreaching. You can't allege that something's a security. You need to first prove it. It turns out, SEC, that in the legal system, there are some rules that even the government has to adhere to. You, the government, bro. Gary, I love you. But you lost. You are losing. You are getting nuked. Anyway, Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal said, Paul Grewal, that's a cool name. I like names where you can put it all together in one word. Paul Grewal said in response to the story that Coinbase is confident in its due diligence process. Yes. Matter of fact, what's even funnier, Coinbase went to the SEC and said, hey, these are all the tokens. This is what we do. This is our process. And the SEC was like, cool process, bro. And then they're going to come back later. No, man. Who should be handling the Coinbase insider trading thing? Coinbase. They should get all the evidence together, present it, then turn it over to the Justice Department if they want those dudes to go to jail for like $13 that they made. We are confident that our rigorous due diligence process, a process that the SEC has already reviewed, keeps securities off our platform, and we look forward to engaging with the SEC on the matter, Grewal said on July 25th. BlackRock has previously expressed interest in digital assets. Look, Larry Fink is a douchebag. Let's get it right. This is the guy that was like getting government money to go buy up his own ETF. You guys know about that, right? You remember that, Ryan, during COVID?
What's that? Who was that?
The Larry Fink.
Larry Fink.
His name is Fink. He's the CEO of BlackRock. His name says shyster in it. You can't write this stuff, man. Let's just move on. God. All right.
Yeah, we do have some breaking news, remember? That we do need to get to.
News. And the breaking news has to do with what our choice of the coin of the day is. Should we talk about that?
Absolutely, we should.
So Meta, who's Meta? Yeah, Facebook, Meta. They're the ones that are probably going to usher in whatever the metaverse looks like. They're not dumb. Mark Zuckerberg is not dumb. People that think he's dumb, they are dumb. Real recognizes real. Anyway, Meta expands. Have you heard that before?
Real recognizes real, yeah.
You either go heart sees heart, or you go real recognizes real. That's when you know you're street.
I feel like the heart recognizes heart.
Street as hell.
That's like the Captain Planet version. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the rednecky South Texas version. Anyway, well, I mean, it is what it is. You got your 86 IQ points. You can use them however you want. Meta expands digital collectible support on Instagram to 100 more countries and adopts Flow blockchain. Now, not just Flow. There's 3 that they're using. It's Ethereum, obviously. It's Matic, Polygon, and now Flow. And guess what? Flow is cheap, bro. It's like $2 coin. Matter of fact, while I talk about this, let's just take a look at Flow. It's probably doing great today. I've owned Flow forever. Problem is, I own Flow at like $30. I've been staking it forever. I'm willing to sit on it forever. I've owned it for a long time. I never really talk about it because it's my biggest loser. I can't sell it. Dear God, no. I cannot sell it. I think it's not that bad. My aggregate price is like $20. But still, $2 ain't 20. So it's at $2.64 right now. It's rolling out on Meta. There's going to get a lot of activity. I bought a Flow base. Oh, by the way, NBA Top Shots runs on top of Flow, and they have tons of cash. Flow has tons of cash, hundreds of millions in their piggy bank. Michael Jordan is actually an investor in Flow. Not that that matters because he's a degenerate gambler. You guys know that, right? Anyway, Meta said it will roll out its digital collectibles offerings on Instagram to 100 more countries. They are supporting Ethereum, Polygon, and Flow. It also added additional wallet integration. Meta, one of the Fuocious drops. I love Fuocious. It's one of my favorite artists. And matter of fact, Sarah and we both share our fondness for that artwork. Fuocious is dope. Fuocious just did a drop. And the cool thing about that one was it launched the other day. They were $250 a piece, these NFTs. There was only 250 of them, but they get you tickets to like events, and the tickets cost like thousands of bucks. It's part of a charity thing, but like to the VMA awards and like legitimate shows, which is dope because I live in LA and I can actually like go to them. Anyway, so I bought 2 tickets for $250, two NFTs, which they are unique, by the way. It's a Fuocious digital magazine. It's actually tons of artwork. It's badass. Anyway, I bought 2 because I was going to sell one because I like to flip me one and take some profit. Meta, their parent company's social media platform, Facebook, announced on Thursday it's expanding their Instagram digital asset integration to 100 countries. That's not nothing. Meta's expansion of digital asset integration brings non-fungible tokens, NFTs, into the mainstream as Instagram has over 2 billion worldwide users. Look, all those creepy pictures of chicks that are scantily clad that we all don't look at, that we all see, but we all agree that we don't look at. Who knows what their NFT integration's going to, I don't know what it's going to mean. I just know that it's probably not nothing, right? Instagram has over 2 billion worldwide active, 2 billion, bro. This token should probably be $18. I don't know. Well, it should probably be $22 so I can get my $20 back. But anyway, I'm long. Why? Because in the NFT space, this is a fundamental platform. This is what the UFC NFTs run on top of. They were on top of Flow. Dapper Labs is Flow. NBA Top Shots is Flow. The Fuocious drop that just happened, Flow. So, and now, Meta. Oh, kind of interesting. The regions supporting the expansion include the Americas, Asia Pacific, the Middle East, and Africa. According to an updated post from Meta, users must connect a digital wallet to the social media platform Instagram to start posting their digital collectibles. I will be doing this. That's actually pretty cool. As of today, we support connections with third-party wallets, including Rainbow, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Coinbase Wallet, Dapper Wallet. Coming soon. Meta is leveraging the Flow blockchain developed by CryptoPunks creator Dapper Labs to allow individuals to post their assets minted on the Flow blockchain on Instagram. Meta's currently supported blockchains include Ethereum, Polygon, and Flow. So if you want infrastructure in the NFT space, I think Flow is a nice addition to the list. Keep it in mind. That being said, Ryan, do you have any final thoughts? Any final thoughts for the day, buddy?
Let's see. No.
Other than that, we'll see people tomorrow.
Yeah, we will see people tomorrow. I think it'll
I
be.
hope you
I think
get some
Eric
sleep.
or Brandon will be back though.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. Because we know you're the king. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything. My poor insolvent drunk, strung out on meth grandmother, or Brandon, or Eric, or our new BFF for life, Ryan, who doesn't sleep much because his kids wake up simultaneously as if they were kind of inspired by some cryptic ghost that's haunting that. Your house is haunted.
Maybe that's what it is, man.
That is what it is. Your house is haunted.
Oh man.
And yes, by the way, for anybody that gets flow, you can get it on Kraken and you can stake it on Kraken. Woo woo. That being said, we will see you on the next one. We'll see you tomorrow. Pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew.